So this is lesson 29B in Algebra 1, continuing on with zero exponents. And a zero exponent, really what that means is that we have a number and it has an exponent of 0. Or we may have a letter with an exponent of 0. Or we might have a whole string of letters and numbers in parentheses and an exponent of 0. All right. Whenever you have an exponent of 0, the answer is always, does not matter, 1. Always. If I have 3x to the 0 power 4, this here that the 0 is on is 1, and this is 4 times 1, which equals 4 because the 0 exponent is not on the 4. Alright, so that's pretty much all it is. Alright, so let's look at a couple examples here. Let's start with 29(6)a. We have x squared, y to the 5th, y to the minus 2, x to the minus 2. Okay? Now, we put our y's together, and we have y to the 5 plus negative 2. And we put our x's together, x squared plus negative 2. Okay, so with our y to the 5 plus negative 2, the signs are different. We take the difference, put the sign of the largest one on there. X, take the difference between 2 and 2. What is the difference? There is no difference, so it's 0. So whenever it's 0, that goes away, and we just end up with y cubed for an answer. Alright, so let's keep going here. Let's look at 29(7). We have x to the 5th, y to the 0 power, z, and we're going to multiply that by p to the negative 3, z to the 0 power minus 4x to the minus 5, z to the negative 1. Alright, so first of all we're going to use distributive. And, well, in fact, maybe before we do distributive we need to do some simplifying, because this here, y to the 0 power is automatically 1. Z to the 0 power is automatically 1. So that gives us x to the 5th z times p to the negative 3 minus 4x to the minus 5 z to the negative 1. Okay, so we've already made it somewhat simpler by doing that. Okay, so let's look at our multiplication. Let's take this times this, and we get x to the 5th z p to the minus 3. Since we can't combine anything, we just kind of stick them together. And the same here. We're going to take this and stick it together with this. So don't have anything to multiply 4 by. I've got a 5 on the x, plus negative 5 for this one here. Then I've got a z times this one, so I've got a z to the 1 plus a negative 1, this negative 1 right there. So I've got x to the 5th, z p to the negative 3 minus 4x. Those two brought together is 0. These two added together are also 0, so that and that go away. And I'm left with x to the 5th z p to the negative 3 minus 4 there. Alright, let's look at 29(9). We have 2 to the 0 power, which equals 1. What if we have negative 2 to the 0 power? Well, because that's not in parentheses, we're only taking 2 to the 0 power, which is 1, and then putting our negative sign on it. If we had negative 2 to the 0 power, this 0 is on the entire thing, so that is going to equal positive 1. Okay, so that's it as far as an exponent of 0.